Hello there, good morning and a warm welcome to Breakfast News here on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines. Heavy rains and squally winds lash northern coastal districts of Tamil Nadu as severe cyclonic storm Varda is expected to make landfall by afternoon. NDRF teams on standby in North Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh. Sixth meeting of the GST Council is inconclusive. Issue of dual control not taken up. Next meet now on the 22nd and 23rd of December. Kerala and Tamil Nadu say the April 1st deadline is unlikely, but the centre stands by it. Home Minister Rajnath Singh's stern message to Pakistan says it will break into 10 nations if it fails to end terror. Blames Islamabad for trying to divide India on religious lines. And US President-elect Donald Trump hints at ending one China policy, says Beijing must make concessions on trade, without which he does not see relevance of the policy. All right, let's start with the developing situation that we are seeing in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. High alert has been sounded and the National Disaster Response Force teams have been pre-positioned in North Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh. A severe cyclonic storm Varda is expected to make landfall by afternoon today. Heavy rains coupled with squally winds lashed the northern coastal districts of Tamil Nadu, including Chennai. Varda, remember, lies 220 kilometers east-northeast of Chennai and 290 kilometers south-east of Nellore. Heavy rains lashed Chennai, Tiruvallur and Kanchipuram districts early this morning, even as squally winds were witnessed in these districts. Power supply was suspended in many parts of these regions as a precautionary measure. Armed forces have been asked to be on standby, with the Army, Navy and Air Force prepared to be deployed anytime as and when required. People in low-lying areas have been asked to move into safer zones, even as various arms of the government were prepared to meet any eventuality. Flight services were so far operating smoothly at the airport. We'll keep an eye out on the developing situation in Tamil Nadu, but now in Andhra Pradesh also, Prakasham and Nellore districts on the Bay of Bengal coast are likely to be hit heavily because of the cyclone. Chittoor and Kadapa districts of Rayalaseema are also expected to receive heavy rainfall. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu reviewed the situation through a teleconference with collectors and top officials, and the state government is also taking the help of the ISRO to track the progression of the cyclone.
We are expecting rainfall in these four districts: Prakasham, Nellore, Chittoor and Kadapa, and also parts of Anantapur district. We have made all necessary arrangements. The control room has been opened in the command control center at Vijayawada. All district collectorates have already opened their control rooms and they are monitoring the situation.
Yes, we will keep an eye out on the developing situation there. Meanwhile, in other news, Union Minister Rajnath Singh on Saturday launched a scathing attack on Pakistan, accusing it of trying to create religious divide in the country. He warned Pakistan that it would be splintered into 10 nations if it failed to end terrorism. Lashing out at Pakistan at a rally in Jammu and Kashmir's Kathua, Rajnath Singh said that Pakistan wants to break off Jammu and Kashmir from India through terrorism. Accusing Islamabad of waging a proxy war against India, the Home Minister said that India always wanted to have friendly relations with its neighbours, but its peace efforts are always met by betrayal and terrorist attacks from Pakistan. He went on to offer help to Pakistan in combating terrorism if it could not control it on its own.
पाकिस्तान को इस हकीकत को समझना चाहिए, आतंकवाद ये बहादुर लोगों का हथियार नहीं हुआ करता है, ये आतंकवाद ये कायरों का हथियार होता है। मुगालते में है यह पाकिस्तान कि हम मजहब के आधार पर फिर से भारत को बांट देंगे। और मैं समझता हूं पाकिस्तान अपनी हरकतों से बाज नहीं आया, तो अभी तो पाकिस्तान के 2 टुकड़े हुए हैं, शायद उस पाकिस्तान के 10 टुकड़े हो जाएं और पाकिस्तान के खंड-खंड हो जाएं।
Meanwhile, Pakistan's new Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa on Sunday abruptly removed the chief of the country's spy agency, ISI. He also made several other significant changes in the army's top brass as part of a major reshuffle. General Bajwa, who took over from General Rahil Sharif 2 weeks ago, appointed Lieutenant General Naveed Mukhtar as the Director General of the Inter-Services Intelligence. replacing Lieutenant General Rizwan Akhtar. Lieutenant General Mukhtar possesses vast experience in the field of intelligence and has headed the counter-terrorism wing of the spy agency in Islamabad. He was commissioned in the Armoured Corps Regiment in 1983. The appointments are seen as a move by the new Army Chief, General Bajwa, to put in place a new team after he took charge on the 29th of November as the 16th Chief of the Pakistani Army Staff. In other news, President Pranab Mukherjee marked his 81st birthday on Sunday with several events. The President launched the 100 Million for 100 Million campaign organized by Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi's Satyarthi Children's Foundation, in which about 5,000 children participated. The campaign aims at mobilizing 100 million youths and children for the upliftment of underprivileged children across the world. The President urged all children and young people from India and abroad to join this campaign for a vibrant, compassionate and happy world where every child is free from fear and exploitation. The President also released a book named Rashtrapati Bhavan From Raj to Swaraj. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari and Prime Minister Modi were among the other dignitaries present at the event. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister conveyed his best birthday wishes to President Pranab Mukherjee and recalled his guidance in the initial days of his prime ministership and hoped that the nation would continue to benefit from President Mukherjee's experience for a long period.
I have been overwhelmed by their good wishes, blessings and expression of their love and affection to me. I have noticed, and I consider myself to be fortunate enough, perhaps it is the blessings of God, that I have received so much from my friends, from the people. I do not know what I have done.
Indradhanush, in a sense, is an innovation. In another sense, it is an upgradation of what has been happening in Rashtrapati Bhavan over decades. But the difference is that the cultural events were usually part of a state occasion, often visits of visiting dignitaries. But this program, Indradhanush, has given it a different perspective altogether.
ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना करेंगे कि लंबे कालखंड तक आपका मार्गदर्शन मिलता रहे, आपके अनुभव का लाभ देश और दुनिया को मिलता रहे। आज यहां 3 ग्रंथों का लोकार्पण हो रहा है। राष्ट्रपति भवन में ये एक ऐसी गतिविधि जो लंबे अरसे तक आने वाली पीढ़ियों को भी काम आने वाली है।
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi also criticized the opposition for stalling the parliament on the issue of demonetization. He said that the opposition does not want the discussion on the matter in the House because they do not want the truth to be revealed. The Prime Minister said this while addressing a rally in Bahraich in Uttar Pradesh through a mobile phone because poor visibility prevented the PM's helicopter from landing in Bahraich, where he had to address a Parivartan rally on Sunday. He addressed the crowd sitting in the helicopter. The Prime Minister assured the mammoth gathering that the country will win the war against black money. He also said that dishonest will not be spared at any cost. The Prime Minister's appeal on demonetization came amid opposition criticism over its implementation that has been a cause of distress for people. And now let's get you our ground report following 1 month to the demonetization exercise. Our correspondent Shyam Sundar travelled to the steel city of Rourkela in Orissa to find out how the industry there has been managing in the midst of a cash crunch.
At a time when the industrial capital of Odisha, Rourkela, is facing financial trouble due to recession in the steel industry, demonetization of high-value currency notes has added to the woes of the already struggling industry. Lack of cash flow in industries and factories has resulted in minimum work since November, leaving migrant workers jobless. Traders are also affected, with people buying only essential items.
कार्ड सिस्टम तो होगा नहीं कोई राशन दुकान में। अभी जैसे यहाँ सिटी सुपर बाजार है, वहाँ कार्ड सिस्टम है, बट लेकिन यहाँ सामने सामने बहुत सारा राशन दुकान है, वहाँ कार्ड सिस्टम नहीं है, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा?
हाँ, कार्ड से हमारा पहले था, अभी पॉजिटिव में हटा दिया था क्योंकि कस्टमर बहुत कम डेबिट कार्ड क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज़ करते थे। अब लेकिन डिमांड बढ़ रही है, कस्टमर आ रहे हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि डेबिट कार्ड पे या क्रेडिट कार्ड से पेमेंट करें।
Despite going digital for their transactions, the hotel industry too is staring at a cash crisis due to inadequate cash flow.
हम तो सर्विस देने के लिए हद तक रेडी है, तो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट हमारे पास तो स्वाइप मशीन होगा, बट बहुत ऐसा गेस्ट है जो आज का दिन में भी मनी पैक वॉलेट लेके चलता है, पॉकेट में उनका पैसा होने से ही टूर करते हैं।
While electronic transactions have increased after the ban on Rs 500 and Rs 1000 notes, it will however take some time before things get back to normal for the Indian small-scale markets and industries. Shyam Sundar's report from Rourkela for Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, the sixth meeting of the GST Council remained inconclusive after the centre and the states failed to sort out the contentious issue of dual control of assessees. The meeting was slated for 2 days, but it was curtailed to just a half after the issue could not be discussed since time was lost in going clause by clause of the voluminous draft legislations. Even in the previous GST Council meetings, the central and state governments could not agree on a model for dual control, which aims to divide the administrative, auditing and assessing powers under the proposed GST regime. While Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the centre stands by its April 1st deadline, states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu said that meeting the deadline was not possible and GST could be rolled out from September. A Monday's meeting of GST Council has been called off due to a public holiday. The GST panel shall now meet again on the 22nd and the 23rd of December.
We started today discussing it, and we have gone up to clause 99. There are few clauses which require, 1 or 2 clauses which require to be redrafted, which will be in the meanwhile redrafted, and in the next meeting, the 7th meeting, they will be put up before the council again. The next meeting will be on the 22nd and the 23rd of December.
Now, the demand for the passage of the Rights for Persons with Disability Bill 2014 has increased. The bill aims at providing more rights and reservation in job-related education to persons with disability. The issue has not been taken up for discussion in the upper house following a uproar over the demonetization issue. The government and the organizations working for the interests of the disabled category, though, have made appeals to pass the bill. Here are more details.
The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill 2014 that aims at providing equal status to people with disabilities is awaiting approval of Parliament. The bill was listed for discussion for 4 consecutive days in the past week in the upper house, but it could not take place due to the ongoing uproar over the demonetization issue.
विचार और पारित करने के लिए प्रस्तुत करता हूं। मैं निःशक्त व्यक्ति अधिकार विधेयक 2014 विचार करने और पारित करने के लिए प्रस्तुत करता हूं। I wanted to pass a bill, but Mr. Minister, we cannot pass a bill in the din. I am helpless. We cannot pass a bill in the din. I am helpless.
The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill 2014 draft was approved by the Cabinet on November 30th. The drafted bill provides a rise from 3 to 5% reservation in government jobs and educational institutions for people with disabilities. Also, in the drafted bill, the number of category of people with disabilities has been raised from 7 to 21. Psychological disability, autism, mental illness, spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy have also been included in the list. Acid attack victims, especially women, have also been placed in the list. A minimum sentence of 6 months on violation of the law is a provision in the bill. According to estimates, approximately 7 to 10 million people will benefit from it.
विकलांगता के 7 ही प्रकार थे, अब इसमें 21 प्रकार हो रहा है। कुछ ऐसी बीमारियां जिसके होने के बाद व्यक्ति आजीवन वो दिव्यांग हो जाता है। हीमोफीलिया है, थैलेसीमिया है, सीकल सेल एनीमिया है, एसिड बर्न है, तो इस प्रकार की ढेर सारे बीमारियों को इसमें कवर किया है।
The bill will replace the old Disability Act 1995. In 2014, the UPA government had brought the new bill, and after several revisions by the Standing Committee, the group of ministers and the PMO, the new bill was drafted. According to the 2011 census, India has about 2 million people suffering from some kind of disability. The bill has again been listed in the list of businesses on Wednesday for discussion. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
With that, a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to India's World.
The term racist may not be entirely appropriate because this is not something which is new.
Answer is the same. Essentially, the economics talks on this issue and the social agenda, the conservative social agenda, which has grown in Europe.
Right gave that message which was exactly the opposite of universalism of the left. Simple, straight, xenophobic, emotional messages which struck a chord.
Watch experts debate rise of right-wing politics in Europe in India's World on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, Indonesian President Joko Widodo has arrived in Delhi on his first visit to India. And during the two-day visit, Widodo will hold a meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also call on the President and the Vice President. Defence, security and anti-terrorism cooperation besides economic partnership are likely to be the major focus of his meetings. In an interview to PTI ahead of his visit, he said that anti-terror cooperation is something that they are discussing currently and that no country is immune from a terror attack. Ahead of his visit, the Indonesian president said that the country is willing to consider a bilateral trade pact with India. Indonesia has become the second largest trading partner of India in the ASEAN region. Bilateral trade has increased from $6.9 billion in 2007-08 to $19.3 billion in 2014-15. And in 2015-16, the bilateral trade fell to about $9 billion due to global economic situation, fall in commodity prices and less overall imports by Indonesia. President Widodo is accompanied by cabinet ministers, senior officials and a 22-member high-level business delegation from Indonesia. Now, accusing the CBI of acting as the government's puppet by planting false news related to the VVIP chopper scam, Congress party said that the Prime Minister should answer questions in Parliament instead of trying to cover up the demonetization mess by holding the CBI captive. Congress told the CBI to own up to the malicious news plants and asked the media to not fall prey to such tactics. This after reports that former Indian Air Force Chief S.P. Tyagi, who was arrested in the VVIP chopper scam, blamed the office of the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The former Air Force Chief was arrested in connection with the alleged irregularities in the VVIP chopper deal.
We would request friends of the media to not become unintended victims of the malicious propaganda of a puppet CBI. If CBI's unappointed chief and company have courage of conviction, then they should come forward and own up the lies and malicious allegations that they are seeking to plant into news channels as also amongst the friends of the media on Augusta case. However hard CBI may try, they will never be able to divert the demonetization mess agenda by trying to set up a new agenda.
Meanwhile, ousted Tata Group chairman Cyrus Mistry on Sunday created a stir in his battle with the Tatas when he linked one of its directors, Vijay Singh, to the VVIP chopper scam, a charge vehemently, of course, denied by Singh. Vijay Singh is an independent director on the Tata Sons board. He alleged, and Mistry in fact has alleged, that Singh had a role in the Augusta Westland chopper scam as it happened when he was the defense secretary in 2010. However, Singh rejected the charge, saying that the deal was approved by the Union Cabinet only after he had retired from government service, and also asked Mistry not to drag him in this matter because it is slanderous and malicious. Tata Sons, meanwhile, on Sunday again renewed its appeal to shareholders of Tata Group companies to remove Cyrus Mistry from their boards, saying that his presence as chairman is likely to lead to a fragmentation of the group. The appeal by Tata Sons comes ahead of key meetings of 6 group companies to vote on removing Mistry from their boards. In a 4-page letter, the company said that Mistry has, over the past 3 to 4 years, concentrated power and authority as chairman in all major Tata operating companies and has tried to weaken management structures in the companies, acting contrary to his fiduciary duties. Mistry, however, has rejected all the allegations against him. Teaming up with the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, 11 non-OPEC countries also agreed to cut their oil output in order to reduce global supply that has kept oil prices low. Russia and 10 other non-OPEC states have agreed to reduce their production by more than 500,000 barrels per day from January for the next 6 months. Kazakhstan, Mexico, Oman and Azerbaijan are some of the other countries that have agreed to reduce oil production. Last month, all 14 OPEC member countries agreed to cut oil output from 33.7 million barrels per day to 32.5 million barrels a day starting January next year for 6 months. OPEC, which produces 1/3 of the world's oil, reached the historic agreement for the first time since 2008 to reduce oil surplus.
Our agreement is really stemmed from the sense of responsibility towards the balancing of the market, which will lead to positive results not only for producers and exporters, but also to consumers and to the healthy economy we all require to the world. Non-OPEC countries participating today, they committed to approximately 560, to be exact, 558,000 barrels.
And now to the US, where President-elect Donald Trump has questioned the relevance of continuing the one China policy of Beijing refuses to make any concessions on trade. Trump made it clear that the communist nation cannot dictate him. The US, since 1979, has respected China's stance on Taiwan, which it sees as a breakaway province. But in an interview to Fox News, Trump said that without concessions from China, he did not see why it should continue. He went on to say that the US is being hurt very badly by China with devaluation, with heavy taxing at the borders, and its stand on the South China Sea issue and North Korea. Trump also defended receiving a congratulatory phone call from the president of Taiwan, saying that some other nations cannot dictate which calls he can or cannot take. In more international news, at least 160 people have been killed after a church roof collapsed onto worshippers in Uyo in southern Nigeria. A hospital director where the bodies have been shifted says the mortuaries are overflowing and the final death toll is likely to be much higher. Reports say that many victims are in private mortuaries all over the city of Uyo. Congregants said that the Rainers Bible Church was still under construction when it was crowded with worshippers to ordain a bishop. Metal girders crashed and corrugated iron roof caved in. The state government said that it will investigate to see if the building standards were compromised. And here's a look at what else is making news across the world in World Wrap. Antonio Guterres, a former Portuguese Prime Minister, will be sworn in as the next UN Secretary General, succeeding Ban Ki-moon as the 9th chief of the 71-year-old world body. President of the UN General Assembly, Peter Thompson, will administer the oath of office to Guterres at a special plenary meeting of the 193-member General Assembly. Guterres will assume his new role for a 5-year term beginning the 1st of January 2017. 25 worshippers, mostly women and children, were killed and nearly 50 injured when a powerful blast ripped through a church adjacent to Egypt's main Coptic Christian cathedral during a Sunday Mass. This is the deadliest attack against the minority community in recent times. The explosive device contained about 12 kilograms of TNT. The Islamic State jihadist group recaptured Palmyra after a Syrian armed forces pulled out of the desert city, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said. The jihadists made a lightning-fast advance across the city after overrunning a northern neighborhood and capturing the famed citadel to Palmyra's west. The IS launched an offensive last week near Palmyra, a renowned UNESCO World Heritage Site. The International Monetary Fund's Managing Director Christine Lagarde is due to stand trial over her role in the case of the state payout in 2008 to a French businessman, Bernard Tapie, when she was France's finance minister in the Sarkozy government. Ahead of the hearing, Lagarde said that she was confident she had done nothing wrong. Lagarde is accused of negligence leading to misuse of public funds by improperly approving a decision to allow an out-of-court arbitration in the dispute with Sarkozy supporter Tapie. She could face up to a year in jail if convicted. And our cricket news, and this is big. India defeated England by an innings and 36 runs in the Mumbai Test to clinch the 5-match Test series 3-0. All-rounder R. Ashwin once again proved his mettle as he claimed 6 wickets in the second innings and 12 wickets overall. Jadeja picked 2 wickets while Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Jayant Yadav shared a wicket apiece. For England, Joe Root was the top scorer with 77 runs. Earlier, remember, England were 182 for 6 in their second innings, trailing India by 49 runs at stumps on day 4. Replying to England's first innings score of 400, India had made 631. Virat Kohli's double century ensuring India dominated day 4 of the 4th Test in Mumbai. While Kohli was out for 235, Yadav scored 104 and both shared 241 runs for the 8th wicket. Virat Kohli also became the first Indian captain to score 3 double centuries in tests. Kohli scored his 3rd double century all in this year as India consolidated its position.
During that lap that this is probably the ground last time when we played England.
And in more good news for India, it will play South Africa in their last Pool D match of the Men's Junior Hockey World Cup in Lucknow today. And with 2 wins over Canada and England, India have virtually secured their place in the quarterfinals. The team would need only a draw to guarantee their entry. India are presently leading Pool D with a maximum of 6 points from 2 games. On Sunday, Spain produced a spirited performance to eke out a fighting 3-0 draw against Oceania runners-up New Zealand in their last Pool C match to book a quarterfinal berth. Spain are now likely to face favourites India in the quarterfinals. And that's all we have for you on the Breakfast News. Have a good day.